Call Alan Robson's Night Owls now.
0191 488 3188.
This is real life conversation with the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And yeah, make sure that you check out our website, because we're just about to start the greatest songs of all time non-stop. 500 songs in a row. Can you believe it? All this week we're counting down the top 500 voted for by you. So there's already ones that I'm picking fault with. So you you can pile in and do that too. So wait till you hear. You will be stunned. There's some great stuff in there. Anyway, let's crack on. Lots to talk about. And don't forget, if you ring in, every caller that does, everybody that gives us a ring goes in the hat for a Night Owl mug. And at the end of the show, I will select somebody, or shall I say, you all go into the hat, and one of you will be selected by random number generator. That's how we have to do these things these days. And if it's you, you get the mug. We'll ring you back, tell you that you've got it. We'll send it to you. And in the meantime, I'm also, at the end of the show, giving away an eyewitness encyclopedia of space and the universe on PC CD-ROM, the ultimate interactive guide to space, aliens and UFOs and all that kind of stuff. The Encyclopedia of Space and the Universe, a multimedia production. PC CD-ROM. If you would like that, that's a prize. Also, got a whole pile of CDs if your call is great. And I may well just reward the odd one of you tonight. We've got a few of them to give away. So pick up your telephone, let's get cracking. Starting off with Helen, who's in Newcastle upon the Tyne. Hi, Helen.
Hi.
Hello, sweetheart. What you got for us tonight?
I'm talking about the best Christmas dinner I had.
Ooh, go on then. Well, make me hungry, because I am actually starving at the moment. Go for it.
Well, it was this year. I was at my parents' house, and my dad did turkey and gammon with stuffing and pork.
Right.
Chef, so he does it really good.
He's a chef, yeah, because when you said my dad did that, instantly I thought, is he treating the lady and is he treating your mum and saying, just you rest this year, I'll do it. But he must have to do it every year, then I'm guessing.
Oh, he takes over when it comes to Christmas, yes, definitely.
I bet your mum doesn't mind that much.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Oh, that's excellent. Do you have the old-fashioned kind of everybody sits around a table kind of do?
It's getting a bit more bigger because I got married, so, and my brother's partner's there as well, so we kind of just sit wherever we can.
Right, no, I understand that. This is the thing, because what used to happen in olden days, you know, when your dad was your age, what used to happen is your mum and dad always used to have the spare chairs. And it was like the chair from the back bedroom, the chair that's in the hall, the chair and you'd put them all together, and you'd have somebody on like a puffy, so you could just see the head above the table. The other one would be on the bar stool, so he's like 6 foot up in the air. It was hilarious back in the day. But no, have it nice and casual. So what did he do? Did he fill each one of your plates, or did you have to go up kind of like a carvery?
We had to go up ourselves. My husband was the first in line holding his plate before anybody was even there.
Hey, well, if somebody else is doing it for you, that's what you do.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
So
Especially I can't eat that much.
So what was the worst thing you've eaten over Christmas? Because first of all, I think there is almost a pressure for you not to stop eating from the moment Christmas Day starts.
Well, I have a weird stomach. My stomach's paralysed, so I can't really eat that much, but I've eaten quite a lot, which is probably not good. But
Why is your tummy paralysed?
It's called gastroparesis, so my stomach doesn't empty like normal.
Oh, blimey. You don't have to be helped, do you? You don't have to have your husband squeeze you on the netty or anything.
No, I'm on milkshakes at the moment to help with my weight, but at the moment I'm not too bad. Yeah.
Right, no, I know those kind of things, everything toiletry at Christmas. When you've got a house full, you don't want to be the one hogging the toilet at any point.
Oh, no, definitely not.
No, and do you take one of those posh sprays? What were they, the toilet cleanie?
No, but I could probably do one.
Incredibly honest. It's just that I went to one guy's house and somebody had been in before I went to the loo. This was blimey, this was probably about 5 years ago, and it was a Sunday dinner. It wasn't even like a Christmas dinner or anything, but there was about 12 in the house, and there was a big table. And then there was 2 or 3 people sitting, having it on their knee on trays and things. There was a lot of that going on. And this guy had been to the toilet. And if you need to go and you know somebody's in, you just watch the door, like the whole time, thinking, now's my moment. Well, I went into the loo, and it would have choked the chicken. The stink, it was just, and bless him, he'd opened the window, but there was no breeze or anything. It was just disgusting. And all I needed was a wee. So I had a wee and then opened the door to come out, and everybody thought it was me. It was like, oh, no.
Yeah, my husband always hates going after me.
But this is what you learn when you get married. It's the first thing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because I think how long have you been married? It sounds like you're relatively fresh to it.
Yeah, I've 2 years.
That's sweet.
Next year coming.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Because I always think it's a shock. You can know somebody to go out with because you don't hear any of their toiletry noises. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You don't hear their orchestra, if you choose to call it that. Also, the noises they make in bed sometimes. You know, hey, baby. I'm not going to name the person, but many years ago, they were a stunningly attractive woman. But when she slept. Let's try it in English. When she slept, and this is every night, she would go, and you're trying to sleep, and you'd go, I'm just going to,
I swear in my sleep, Emily. I don't normally swear, but I swear in my sleep, according to my husband.
Did he say how or why? Or are you aiming it at him?
No, I'm actually shouting at the cat.
Shouting at the cat?
Yeah, the last time I woke up and I basically thought that my cat had pooed under the bed, so I started swearing at her. Normally I don't swear.
Right. No, but the poo stink under your bed by a cat. That's a dirty puss right there. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Hey, no, good stuff. So have you got anything planned for New Year's? You in? You out? What are you doing?
I'm hoping to take my husband to see the new Star Wars movie because he hasn't seen that yet. So.
Everybody says it's one of the best ever as well. So
he's hoping so. Yeah, he's a big fan.
He's a Star Wars aficionado, is he? Have you seen all of them? Because there's 9 now.
He has. I still need to catch up.
Yeah, this was the thing. It's kind of what I've just started doing. You know, I mentioned I just watched my first Harry Potter.
I love Harry Potter.
For years, everybody said, watch Harry Potter, man, it's really good. And I've been going, I have no interest in little children, if you don't mind. Leave me alone. And then you see one and you go, oh, it kind of makes sense now. I understand how people got a kick out of it. And with the Star Wars, I've seen all of them but 2 of the last 3, and they did a one about Skywalker. Or is this the one that's just out?
I've seen that one. I think I've seen that one.
So I don't know if they're in order or they're not in order or any of that. But,
I know there is a bit in order, but I don't.
But the thing I loved about it was one year when I was on holiday, I was doing a little bit of work in America, a little bit of voice work, and I had like 2 days. It had kind of paid for the holiday. And I did, so you're going to go. Do you know what I mean? And the Star Wars film was coming out that week. And they've got a theatre called Man's Chinese Theatre, which is a theatre that you put big dues on. And they had like the grand red carpet launch. And I didn't see any of the stars. But while I was there, I was driving just as they were about to let the crowds in. And they had people dressed up as all the characters and those white warrior kind of saber. What are they called?
The stormtroopers.
The stormtroopers, that's right. They had all of them marshalling the public, keeping them in place. But the thing that was nicest was there was about probably 2,000 people waiting to go in, and there wasn't a single person not in costume.
My husband would probably go in costume if he could. He'd probably have his T-shirt on. He's sat nodding upstairs.
Well, what about you? You're not going to Princess Leia it?
I might try. Let's see what I can do.
I know, it's a lovely thing. If it's a passion of his, it's nice that you're going to say it.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's a big
enjoy it. Lovely talking to you, Helen. Stay on the line as well. I'm going to send you a present. Thank you very much for coming
I've
on.
been listening since I was a little girl, so
Hey, well,
the horror stuff.
we've grown up together. We'll have to slowly but surely we'll be adding a bit more of the darker things. So worry
I've
not.
had a spooky thing happen lately, anyways. But I'll let you get on to.
No, what was it? If there's something important, tell me.
He passed away on Thursday. And when we gave them over to a man to get him cremated, I was sat next to his cage that was still up.
Right.
And his water bottle started going, so it kind of looked like he was drinking. And before he had passed away, he had been drinking from the water bottle, and the bubbles were rising, and you could hear everything. The weirdest thing that I've ever.
Wow. Isn't that strange? Are you all right about the whole thing? I mean, did he have a gentle?
Yeah.
Did he have a
that
gentle
made me feel a bit better.
Right. No, absolutely. That he was still there, sending you a sign to say, "Whoa, hang on."
Yeah,
Still
definitely. It made me
kick.
feel a lot better.
Bless. Hey, lovely thing. Thanks again, Helen.
Yeah.
But stay on the line, Chris.
You're
Look
welcome.
after
I
her
will
if you
do.
will. Thanks very much. Take care, Alan. Bye bye. She's family. That one. Well, she is now. There we go. We've adopted Helen. She's been with us since she was a little girl. Well, bless her. 0191 488 3188. Get your calls in. We got more, a lot more, and somebody who's unhappy with our National Health Service. Next. Oh, it's nice to have a bit of Bob Marley and the Wailers. Let's get straight to the game. We have Anonymous, who is in North Shields. Hello, Anonymous.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm good, my darling. What can we do for you? I gather you've had a bad experience. What's up?
Why, I was in the Cromlin.
Mm-hmm. The big new hospital there.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely horrendous.
Why? What happened?
I got absolutely amazing in Ray Lane.
Right.
Absolutely amazing. They rushed us through, they took us through, the blue lighted us up the Cromlin. Absolutely amazing. Got there, I got stuck in a corridor for 3 hours next to everybody who was shitting us. Sorry.
Right.
Who was?
They were losing it at the wrong end, right?
Yeah, they had norovirus.
Oh,
and the place should have been shut down. It literally should have been shut down. I told them I've got a child with disabilities.
Right.
I need to leave. And they were like, no, you've got to wait.
What was wrong with you, darling?
Broken ribs.
Oh, blimey, right. So,
and damaged spine.
so this is not something you can leave and just go home. Not if you.
I had to. Yeah, no, I had to because
Really?
my son is disabled.
Right.
So I had to leave.
So how do you pick that back up again? You get out the way because obviously nobody wants to be in and around in the middle of all of
I
that.
literally had to leave because somebody was like, literally, no offence to our listeners, but somebody was like, literally, pooing themselves in the next
Right.
thing to us.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
blimey.
No, I had to.
So you get back home, you've still got broken ribs, you've still got a back issue. What happens then? I mean, have you been taken back in the hospital or?
No, there's nothing I can do till after Christmas till I can go back and see my doctor.
Because you don't trust the hospital?
Because I don't. I don't have a problem with Rake Lane. Everybody slags Rake Lane, but
Right. I've never had a problem. I've been to Rake Lane a couple of times. They've always been straightforward and solid.
amazing Rake Lane, but I swear to God, Cromlin were horrendous.
It's supposed to be a new razzle-dazzle, multi-million-pound...
They were over subscribed, really.
Right. Well, I know it's a
And
time of year when it is.
They haven't got the rooms, and fair enough. It's not down to them. It's down to the fact that they haven't got the rooms. They haven't got the space.
But the whole point of building it...
I was laid there in a corridor,
Yeah.
and there was like a room beside us with a curtain over it saying X-ray. Now, I'm not being funny, but I'm pretty sure you've got to have a proper door against an X-ray room.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, of course you do, because you can't allow... It's got to be, like, leaded and everything,
well,
doesn't
the
it?
room that I was beside didn't.
Right. Oh, cheap.
So I'm not being funny, but It's not okay. It's not okay. And I was freezing my bloody arse off, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I asked them for a blanket, and they went, "We can't give you one because of cross-contamination."
What? This is crazy. Well, how come anybody gets into a bed ever then?
Yeah.
Do you know? That's
Do you know what it is?
ridiculous.
The more pain I was in, the more cold I was in, the more pain I was in. It was like absolutely horrendous.
So you get home and you at least there you know that you're in a safe environment and you can get warm.
Yeah. I mean, yes, she says, "Oh, you can stay in, you can have morphine if you stay with a doctor." But do you know what you're supposed to do? Wait and see if you get like norovirus. See if you how long you've got to wait in a corridor. And fair enough. But normally I go to RVI or Rake Lane.
Yeah.
But I can't be done with stuff like that.
No.
These new super hospitals are no good.
But the whole point of this great big massive super hospital is so that they've got more room. So they've got
They haven't
beds.
got the room. They haven't got the room. I've seen old people with their clothes off, with no blankets over them, with they were pooing themselves and everything. I've seen some horrible things the other day. It was horrendous.
And then, presumably, once New Year's out the way, you'll be first in the queue to your doctor, who's possibly going to send you, but he's possibly going to send you back.
But at the end of the day, you've got to watch these people who are lying there with their pants off and all that. These people with mental health problems, because my son's got special needs.
Yeah.
These people are lying with their clothes hanging off, and they're not being properly looked after because this hospital is oversubscribed.
Right.
So this hospital is so oversubscribed. It's disgusting.
I just don't understand why they sent you to a place that was too busy to look after you in the first
That's
place.
exactly what I said to my mum. I said it should be for people. But yeah, I had a back problem. I had a serious problem. But these people with norovirus, when they knew that they had norovirus, they shouldn't have sent me up there.
No, because everybody knows that when you go to hospital, there's a strong chance you're going to pick up a virus anyway,
Exactly.
or an infection.
I mean, the blue lighted us straight up there, but they shouldn't have done that.
Well, certainly they shouldn't have took you into the middle of it.
The RVI or something.
No. I'm sorry to hear it, and I hope you're feeling a little better. I mean, I don't know how you can until you get sorted.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all. Obviously, I had to walk out before because of what about giving us morphine and things. I had to walk away, but at the same time, I still worry about these mental health patients or these...
Yeah, they've got nobody representing them or looking after them, have they?
Exactly.
Yeah. Ah, my goodness. Awful story. And thank you very much. Good to hear from you all the same. All the best.
Bye.
Thank you, darling. Bye-bye. What a mess. If you have been to Cramlington, what's the crack? Is it like that? It's just completely oversubscribed. And there's a norovirus going on and everybody's pooing themselves. Jeepers. Speaking of which, of course, we're doing hospital songs. Tony Best, Hot Chocolate. It started with a cyst. Brilliant. Ben Mabon, best and worst things that they've eaten over Christmas. Best thing I've eaten was my Christmas dinner. Well, it is, isn't it? It just is. The worst thing, parsnips. Too sweet for me. Have you noticed? Parsnips used to be just vegetables, but now ever since some master chef or other said, "Oh no, you cook them in honey," it's like eating a sweet. Love the show as always. Ben Mabon there. Thank you, Ben. And Tracy, hope you have a brilliant new year. Hope 2020 will be a lot better for you and you get your nights back. I would love that to be the case. Thank you. Other stuff coming in. We want to hear from you. Dawn from Washington already with us. Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, darling. What are you talking about tonight?
Hi, you were just talking to a lady with gastroparesis.
Yes, like a paralysed tummy.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And the biggest part of people that suffer from it have diabetes.
Right.
I've had type 1 diabetes for 59 years now.
Oh, hell's bells.
And I suffer from it.
And is it permanent thing, or is it something that just comes on?
Absolutely nothing that can do about it.
Oh, what a class.
I mean, right over the Christmas, I've had feelings that I'm hungry. I want to eat something.
Right.
So I eat something, and I'm sick.
Right.
And if I'm not sick, I feel sick.
Right.
It's really horrendous. It really is a horrendous condition. But there's not only diabetics who can suffer from it.
Right.
Other people can suffer from it as well.
Uh-huh. Oh, what a clown, though. But over Christmas, I don't care what anybody says. It's all, to me, it seems that it's all about eating. It's you get up.
I'm sorry, I've hardly eaten anything.
I can believe it, because well, why would you if it's going to make you feel like that?
The thing is, it comes in waves.
Right.
And over the Christmas period, I've had it.
Right.
It'll clear up, and I'll be able to eat again, fairly normally. And then it'll come back again. You know, it's just one of those things. And they're not sure whether the diabetes causes it, or whether it's something else.
Yeah, but the whole idea at Christmas, though, I'm feeling a bit hungry. You've got probably lots of treats to eat, because most people do around about that time of year. So there's no shortage of things you want to ram in your mouth, but you don't want to be sick. That's the thing.
Well, the trouble is, you feel hungry, and you eat something, and then you feel sick.
Yeah.
And you either vomit or you just feel sick for the rest of the day.
It's just a vicious circle, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is. This is exactly how it works. And the nasty thing is, I mean, 98% I think it is of people actually lose weight when they've got this.
Right, yeah.
And there's the 3%, the 2% that don't. They put weight on.
Right.
And that one of those 2%, and that is it.
Oh, dear. I just feel sorry for you, because this is the time of year where most people just sit back and have a nice, and even if you get a good Christmas dinner and then you pick for the rest of the day. It's what most people do.
Oh, no.
Not you, though.
I've had a bad Christmas. I really have.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear it. What a damn shame. And what's all this about eating? Somebody said you wanted to talk about eating pigeons or something. What's that about?
You said you were talking the other week about eating pigeon.
Yes. Horrible.
Well, I've eaten pigeon before.
Right.
It's a game bird.
It is,
so it's no different to eating pheasant or partridge or grouse.
Right. The one that I got, though, was undercooked. It was still bloody. And it was downright nasty. So even if it had been cooked properly, I may well have got round to saying, fine little flavour.
Well,
not while it's squirting at you, though. That's the thing.
No, I've got to admit, pigeon isn't one of my favourites.
Right.
I mean, I used to work on the big estate where the owner used to go out shooting, and he used to have grouse and pheasant and all the rest of it in his larder. And he used to give me some.
Right. Did you know how to cook it, even?
Well, yeah. I'm not you a chef, Alan.
Well, there you are. But I mean, even having to pluck it and make sure you get the bullet out of it and everything.
Oh, yeah, you've got to do all that.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter about getting the bullet out, like, but as long as you don't chew it.
Well, that's the thing. I know. Oh, dear. Scary. I must admit that when it comes to, if you live a little bit out in the country, and I do, pretty much any posh restaurant near you, they're all. We have salmon. We have quarter salmon on the Tweed. They brought a deer down last Thursday. Would you like some venison? Oh, do you really? Oh, can I? It's Bambi's mom. You can't.
I don't care. It's lovely.
Oh, no.
Cook it in port. It's beautiful.
Oh, jeepers! Really? Wow.
Yes.
Oh, I'd be no.
To a chef.
I know, but I visited a chef's house once when we were You know how sometimes we have a week in Ireland or we'll have a week in Scotland.
Yes.
We did a week in Ireland, and he says, "Oh, you want to come here? We've got," and he had like an outhouse which was refrigerated and hanging up. He had deer and pheasants and partridges and grouse and he says, "Oh, you've got to hang them, and the longer you hang them, the nicer they are."
Yes.
And some of them had like maggots and stuff on it. And he says, "Oh, you don't worry about that.
Well,
That's all superficial."
That's why you're supposed to eat pheasant and grouse with the maggots in them.
What? Why? Who in their right mind?
You're doing it entirely. I wouldn't have any off the estate where I work. No, I just couldn't do that. But
I suppose it's more protein, but I'd rather not if you don't, because they've got.
No,
have you ever had
not
a close look at a maggot?
Yes.
With those two little beady eyes? Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to chew on them. No, because you think they'll mate in your stomach and they'll eat you from the inside out. No, don't want that to
I
happen.
don't think so. I think your stomach acid will kill them.
I'm not willing to take the chance. No, no, I don't think so. Hey, Dawn, lovely talking to you, sweetie. Good luck for the new year. Let's hope you get a little bit of peace. I'd love to think so.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, love. Take care. Bye-bye. Gastroparesis. It's that whole paralysis of the tummy. Still getting some more of the food, best foods. Tim, you're a man after my own heart, I have to say. Alan, I had a curry takeaway for Christmas Day, and I loved it so much. I've actually been having curry ever since. I think my blood type is now curry. Yeah. Are you O negative? No, tikka masala. Brilliant. Other stuff coming in from the whole If Every Song in the World Was Written in a Hospital. Doc Around the Clock we're getting. Quack in the USSR. Dave D. Dozy Mick and Stitch. Blimey. Going back a ways for that. Internal Pain by the Bangles. The song for the Morgue, Solid as a Rock. Oh, that's not very nice. White Snake, instead of Is It Love, Visit Love. Oh, that's nice. Rod Stewart, I'm Only Croaking. And Up in the Name of Love. There you go. A bit of Supremes too. And we're going to take a very swift break. And then I'm talking to an absolute superstar. Then I'm talking to you.
Night Owls with Alan Robson.
What are we talking about next? You make the call. 0191 488 3188.
Greatest hits radio.
Now we have Tina Turner in a brief chat with Tina about one of her songs very soon. But I thought, as we've got lots of calls coming in, keep the kettle boiling, pick up the telephone, give Chris a call. We'd love to get you on. If we've started something that you'd want to dive into, feel free. 0191 488 3188. But first, to Anfield Plain, where we've got Alison. Hello, Alison.
Hi there, Alan.
Hello, darling. What you been up to?
Well, it was just when you were talking about firsts over Christmas. I've had a few this year.
Oh, great.
So the first one was I saw Elf for the first time. I can't believe that it's like years and years and years and I've never seen that film, and it was really,
the
really
film.
good.
I was thinking.
The
First of all, I was
Elf.
thinking they've got elves in Anfield Plain, but no, you mean the.
Yeah, we have loads of them. They're all over the place.
I'd imagine on a Friday night leading up to Christmas there was a few.
Depends what night it is.
Oh, that's great. So seeing Elf for the first time, so at first you think it's just stupid, but it is funny.
It's got a good story to it. But the other thing that was a first is I didn't see my kids on Christmas Day.
Oh no.
And it was like, they're older. They're 29 and 27.
Right.
So it's not like they're young. But it was the first year ever.
Did they
that I
ring?
haven't seen
They
my
must have
kids.
spoken
Oh,
to them.
yeah.
surely.
FaceTimed them both.
Right, right.
Yeah, so I saw them, but it was just really, really strange. Because my daughter moved out this year. My son moved out a few years ago, but my daughter moved out this year as well.
Right.
So we were kind of like, me and Rob were kind of sitting twiddling our thumbs like, okay.
But technically, it's setting you free, isn't it? Isn't that what it's supposed to be?
Well, it should have done. That was what everybody was kind of saying. You can do anything you want now, but it was. I found it quite heart-wrenching.
No, I can imagine.
It just didn't feel right.
Are you getting together for New Year then? I mean, how are you going to make sure that that doesn't happen again?
Well, we saw each other on Boxing Day night for
Right.
a couple of hours, so I did see them on Boxing Day. But it was next year. What will probably happen is because with my daughter moving into her house, she's away. Well, she's not that far. She's only down in Peterlee.
Right.
But they decided to have Christmas in their own house.
No,
this
I
year.
get that. You must understand that. That's exciting, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
And my son, his girlfriend's from Scotland, so they were with me last year, and then they were up with her parents this year.
It's only
But
fair.
it was still very strange. I know it's kind of the logistics as people grow up, but
Yeah, it's just learning a new way to do it, and I kind of get it. And over the years, it's funny because I see the build-up and the build-up and the build-up, and it's over in 24 hours, and then everybody's just standing looking around going, was that actually it? Is that done now?
Yeah.
It's
we've
all
got
over?
no money left.
The thing that I'll tell you, the thing that I find fascinating, and I don't know whether it's just because I have to find these things fascinating now, is you look at prices of things. Let me tell you the history of the cauliflower. Now, this is my understanding of a cauliflower and the pricing thereof. Now, we're looking November, 75p, 70p, 75p. December, £1. It's £1, it's £1, it's £1. Then it comes up to about 3 days before Christmas, and they realise they've got about 400,000 of these things.
Yeah.
So then it's 50p, 40p, 20p, 19 pence for a cauliflower, and then Christmas is over, £1, and within 3 days, £1 for a cauliflower again. What?
It's crazy.
But who's got the time to go 1918, 17, 16? Every day you're hitting the cauliflower with a new number. Who's got time for that? You know, if you work in a shop...
Somebody in a job.
I suppose so. But the whole price thing, I've been watching it. It's just fascinating. And then everybody tries to tease you by saying, well, you have to shop at our supermarket because our carrots are 19p.
Yeah. I was quite impressed with what Asda did, though. They had a big stand where, like, all the bags were 20 pence each.
All the...
So, like, you could get, like, a bag of carrots, you could get a bag of potatoes, you could get... And they were all, like, 20 pence each, and they did that for about 2 weeks before Christmas.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So they were kind of... I think it was something like £3.40 to do your Christmas dinner for 6 people.
Give over. That's fantastic.
That's what I thought, because it is ridiculous that people just can't afford it, and the supermarkets are making so much money over Christmas. It's stupid.
The other thing that I find a bit annoying, and what was the name of the supermarket? Aldi supermarket. There's a one not too far from where we are, and I saw like one of these, you know, these ready meal curry things. I thought, oh, that'll be handy. You know, if I'm going to work, I'll just take that in, microwave, ding, happy days. And she said, oh, I can't sell you it. I says, but it's on the shelf. She says, can't sell you it because the sell-by date's today.
Right.
So I says, have you got another one? No, just what's out. I says, well, where does that leave me? Because it's on the shelf. Can I buy it or can I not? And she says, but if at the end of today you didn't buy it, we'd have to throw that away. Now, that annoys me. Because I always thought they had to tuck that... Because after a sell-by date, you still got a little bit of space, haven't you, before...
You have, yeah. You've still got a few days, haven't you? Well,
so you'd have thought they could have given it to a you know, one of these, the food bank or something. Surely they're good as that kind of stuff.
Well, there must be such a massive amount of waste. It's like one of the things... I don't know whether I should mention them or not. It's a bakery around here. It's not Greg's. It's another one.
Right.
On a Saturday... Literally, it gets to Saturday tea time, and the other day I called in, and they just box up all this stuff, and it goes in the bin.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, you've got pastries, you've got bread, you've got cakes, you've got all sorts, and it's like, but that's just what the management want.
You would have thought, though, because, you know, a lot of the supermarkets, at the end of the day, they go around and they'll pull all the stuff that they're getting shot of, and they'll put it next to the tills with, like, bargain stupid prices on 8p, 20p, 30p kind of thing. Surely that's what you do rather than waste it. And then if people are having a bit of trouble with the amount of money coming in, they can pick up a bargain or two.
Yeah, even if they had, like, the last hour on a Saturday is reduced.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they would have queues out the door.
Absolutely, absolutely. But chucking it out, there's no reason in the world why you should waste.
I was so shocked.
Yeah, no, I bet. So you've seen Elf for the first time. What other firsts have you had then?
We had a Marks and Spencer's Christmas.
Did you?
Like the advert, because there was only like two or three of us, so it was kind of, I thought, I'm having a Marks and Spencer's Christmas, which is going to make it more special.
And
because Marks and Spencer's Christmases were just amazing.
So did it? Was it better? Was it?
No. Well, it was all right. We had these brie and cranberry tartlets.
Oh, hell's bells, right?
That were beautiful.
Right. Okay.
I've never had those before. They were absolutely beautiful.
You do know there'll be, and however many pounds you paid for them, you do know by now there'll be like 30 pence trying to get rid of them.
Yeah. Actually, I might pop through. Might call there tomorrow.
Yeah, why not?
Although the prices will be up for New Year now.
Oh, well, this is it. But after New Year, you would imagine all the party food then will be like 20p, 30p.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was like, I went shopping on Christmas Eve just because I got a phone call about my glasses were ready, so I rushed through the Night Row Centre, and everything in the shops was reduced on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And the Night Row Centre was really quiet. This was like an hour and a half before it closed. And I walked around, and it was things like in Marks and Spencer's, I got some dog toys.
Right.
And they were like stupidly reduced. There was something like £9, and I got them for £1, just because they had letters on them for the dogs' names. And they'd used all the letters, and they only had X's left. And I said to the woman, but that's a kiss.
That's a kiss. Oh, that's a lovely thing. We'll look at it.
Thought about it, so my dogs had bones, chewy bones with kisses on rather than the names.
There's not too many Xerxes. Where's Xerxes?
Well, exactly. They had X, Y's, and Z's left, and I was like, well, I want the kisses, so I couldn't get the X's.
No, it's nice. Hey, what you going to do to manage? That's the thing.
I know.
Anything else?
Well, I saw over Christmas. I don't know whether did you see Where's Old Gummidge?
I saw that it was on. Was it the original one with John Pertwee in the old Doctor?
No, it was one that was rewritten by Mackenzie Crook.
Right.
And it was absolutely amazing. And anybody who didn't watch it, I recommend they go out and they get it on iPlayer, because the messages behind it was just absolutely fantastic. It covered all like kind of what's going on in the modern world today about climate change and politics and being like equality and everything.
Wow.
And it was the best thing that I saw over Christmas. It was in two parts.
Right.
And it was definitely the best thing. And if anybody's wanting something to watch on like catch up or anything, highly recommend it.
I must admit, I instantly thought, blimey, they're dredging the depths to bring that back after all these years. But if it's new, I was not aware of that.
Updated it.
Right, cool.
It was brilliant. It was really, really good. Definitely the best television over Christmas, because it hasn't been that good.
No, that is an absolute fact. Hey, lovely catching up, Alison. Thank you so much for your kindness. Take it easy.
Everybody and all the night owls the best for 2020.
All right,
so
thanks
have a great
again.
New Year. See you later.
We'll do our darndest. Thank you. And that lovely. And did you watch that Wurzel Gummidge thing? And Tony, you see Wurzel Gummidge?
No, I used to love it though.
Yeah, Aunt Sally, you know that. Yeah, I remember the old-fashioned thing. But it's back, it's new. Mackenzie Crook wrote it, so hey, respect to him. Now, we always give you a challenge. You know that everybody coming on goes into the hat automatically for a Night Owl mug, so if you ring in, you could get one. We also have this PCCD-ROM, Dorling Kindersley Eyewitness. They're great, these things, if you haven't seen them. This is the Encyclopedia of Space and the Universe, the ultimate interactive guide to space. A fabulous thing. So we're giving that away tonight, if you fancy. If you can solve I think it's... Will you get this one tonight? If I'm honest, hand on heart, I'm not sure. I'm going to give you 4 clues. Each clue are 2 words that don't automatically go with one another, but you've got to work out what they were. First clue is this: a small, tasty, orange-like fruit beginning with T. Okay? A small, tasty, orange-like fruit beginning with T. And the second word that goes with it, birch, oak, maple, are all types of what? Birch, oak, maple, ash, they're all types of what? Okay, put the 2 together. That is your first clue. Now, we mentioned before that we're going to have Tina Turner on fairly soon, but before that, we've got to visit Melbourne in Australia because we have Janice waiting to get on. Let's see what she has to say. Hello, Janice. Hello, Janice. My mouse is not behaving. Naughty mouse. Christmas mouse. Is this a new mouse? It really is not working until now. And hello. Is that Janice? Hello. Oh, I know she's there somewhere. Bear with us, Janice. I think we've got you now. Hello, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. Hoorah! That's good. Good to hear from you. Now, expat, whereabouts you from, Janice?
I'm from about 2 hours outside of Melbourne, but I'm a Geordie girl. My mum's a Geordie and my dad's a Hallman.
Oh, hey, fantastic.
Yeah.
So how long you been out there?
I came out here when I was maybe 5, 6.
Wow.
I've been back to Newcastle. I've been back to the UK 2011.
Right.
So I'm hoping to go back February, come back home February.
Now, I do know that traditionally everybody says, how can you compete with Australia because they're all on the beach having a barbecue and eating shrimp that are loosely the size of a beaver. I understand that. Is that how it really happens, though?
Yes and no. This Christmas has been very, very hot.
Right.
We're getting 42 Celsius today.
Oh, blimey.
We're hitting 42. You can fry an egg on your bonnet of your car. You have barbecues if it's really, really hot for Christmas lunch. We had the traditional, even though it was very humid, Christmas Day here, but I still did my Yorkshire pud and my roast. The Christmases here is different. It's more outside, like going to the beach, having Barbies and stuff. But I know in England, you can't because it's snowing and it's freezing cold and it's raining.
Yeah.
It is entirely different. I wanted to come back for Christmas. I want a white Christmas. I've been looking forward to it. I will get one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a different outlook to over there than what it is here.
Does it not just become another day? Because you've got the kind of weather where you could barbie any day, really, couldn't you? Pretty much.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it does. It's just the Barbie's always out in summer, but we've got to be careful because of the fires. We've had fires in Victoria, where I am, not very far.
They're talking about trying to stop firework displays for the new year over there because of this.
Yes. Well, I'm sort of yes and knowing on this one because the money that they have paid millions of dollars to put the Sydney fireworks on, which is an icon, they're thinking of cancelling it and putting the money towards the people that need it, which is the CFS, the volunteer fighters, the people that have lost their homes, wildlife, etc. And the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
But now, because apparently they've paid for the fireworks in Sydney, it's still going.
Right.
But you've got mixed feelings. People want to cancel, people don't. People don't want to cancel because it's an icon.
Well, you see, my thought on that is simply that I don't know whether you're even aware of this, but New Year begins in Australia for the world because you celebrated before anybody else. So when we're watching, usually Usually it's New Year's Eve. I think it's about 3:00 in the afternoon or something. We're watching the bridge explode into life and do all of the fireworks all over the harbour. So we see that, and that's the first thing to say. It's coming. It's on its way. And then you'll go to usually get Hong Kong after that, and then it moves across the planet until it's our turn to party. So in a way, and I understand that, blimey, those people need whatever help they can get, bless them, and I hope they get it.
Terrible.
But but if somebody's already, if you were the fireworks company and you've spent the last 3 months getting the bridges all set with fireworks, and then somebody comes up to you and says, "We want our money back," well, you'd give them sharp shrift, really, wouldn't you? I think.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work, but it is going ahead. A few of the smaller organisations, like you've got some in SA, some in Victoria, where you get your amateurs that are doing fireworks. I reckon they will be not working. They will be squashed. They won't do it. It's too dry.
Yeah.
We've got trees in New South Wales that are exploding after the fire and starting more fires. Right. It's just horrendous. It's the driest years we have had in Australia for droughts. It's just the cattle are hungry, the sheep are, all the cattle are hungry. We're importing hay from interstate to New South to Victoria to SA to keep the cattle alive. And that is how bad it is. It is so dry.
I keep seeing helicopters and stuff drop, be putting their like a net into the water of a lake and just trying to or into the sea even and trying to put the thing out. Nothing seems to make any kind of difference at all. I've even watched firemen within like 2 feet with a super strong hose, and it's almost like as if it makes no difference at all.
It's just not working because they killed the fires. They put it to on an even keel if they can, or they did.
Yeah.
But the trees are that hot. There was a couple of trees that have been there for years exploded, and the fire started again. It's the koalas. We've lost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
I bet.
I saw an article on the news, and it was on my Insta, that there were cyclists going through the Adelaide Hills, and there was 2 koalas in the middle of the road, and they walked up to the cyclists that wanted water, and they're crawling up on the bike, on the push bike, and drinking their water from their drink bottles. And they're wild. They never, ever, ever, ever have done this before, but they're that thirsty. They're that hungry. They're going up to humans and virtually begging them for water.
What a mess.
And some of them are burnt with burnt feet. Their noses are burnt, their fur. A lot of them are in care because they're badly burnt. But the CFS said just the carcasses, it's heartbreaking.
No,
no wildlife, no birds to be even seen, not even heard. Koalas, bodies everywhere. The people that have lost their homes, their lives. It's terrible. We were all praying in Australia for a merry, merry, rainy Christmas. That is what we were praying for. A merry, merry, rainy Christmas. Bring the rain, get the fires out, get the wildlife, watered and.
Yeah, they're still saying, though, that it could be weeks before you get any more rain. They're not anticipating anything much soon, though, are they? That's the thing.
No, they're not. They need a lot of rain in New South to put it out. A few showers won't put it out, but they need a lot of rain to put these fires out and to give the cattle their feed. As soon as it rains, the green grass comes up, a bit of it, and then it's gone within a millisecond because it's not enough. It is the worst drought ever. But as for the new year here, I think it'll be down the park for us and seeing a few people and seeing the new year in, and then another new year starts, another new beginning.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's better than this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
2019.
We wish you that too, Janice. Lovely talking to you. Make sure you call in again, and bless you. Thank you so much for joining us.
You are welcome, Alan. I love listening to you. I'll put you on the computer and on my phone. You're with me all the time.
Bless you.
And I'm down here in Aussie.
Hey.
So good on you, Geordie. Yeah.
Thank you very much. There you go. And a quick break, and then I think we will definitely have Miss Tina Turner.
The voice of the North.
Alan Robson's Night Owls, the phone-in that gets you talking.
Greatest Hits Radio.
You are with the big one, Alan Robson on Greatest Hits. Lots happening on Greatest Hits too. We also have coming up Friday night and Sunday at 4, Greatest Hits superstar David Bowie as well. If he is your bag, make sure you don't miss that. That'll be quite something. We also, of course, want to point you to our competition to win the space and universe and all that there is up there. The first clue, a small tasty orange-like fruit beginning with T, and you add to that birch, oak, maple, ash, chestnut. They're all types of what? So you put those two words together, and that's a clue for tonight's song that you've got to identify. You'll have 4 clues, and they're all words that shouldn't go together but do in this particular case. See what you work out. Do not have a guess until you hear the 4th clue. Been talking about the best and worst food. Anne's been on. Evening, Alan. Best food for me is panettone. I'm addicted to it. But 3 or 4 as Christmas is the only time I can get it. My grandson loves pigs in blankets, but the sausage is wrapped in chorizo instead of bacon. Absolutely lush. And I'm with Tracy. Hope you have a fab new year and get lots more nights. Thank you very much, Anne. And bless you. Hope you have a great new year. A lot of you. First time I have ever, since I started work in radio, first new year I've ever had off. And I'll be lost. I know it. Because, well, you know what we do, quiz, dance party, it's always been that, and though not this year. And we have Brian from Gateshead. You're going to be talking to him very soon. But I asked Tina Turner about, well, one of her biggest hits. And that's off to Gateshead. We got Brian there waiting ever so patiently. Hi, Brian.
Good evening, Alan. Hi.
Hello,
I've got a few points to mention, right?
Okay.
First of all, Nopkins Charge, the other one, Andrew.
Yes.
What's happened about him? Everything seems to have gone quiet. And the way he's been behaving, he's just acting like keeping his head down, keeping out of the way of everything, thinking that everything's going to be going away. And I think it shouldn't, because obviously it should be looked into properly. And I think he's hoping it's all going to blow away the whole situation with that girl,
Yeah, well, it may well have been with more than one. We don't know. This is the thing. If you were in his situation, I think you would play it exactly the way that he is. In other words, I wasn't there. I had no idea what this guy was doing. It was his life, and it was his lifestyle. I just happened to be one of his friends, and I was at a couple of parties and all of that. And he's playing it the way that you would expect him to play it. Has he been involved with more or less? Ooh,
wouldn't you think if he was totally innocent, wouldn't you think he'd be suing her for damages? But he's not. That's what I don't understand. He keeps on pretending he's innocent, but he's obviously. A lot more to it.
The royals tend not to get involved in that whole kind of thing. They don't get into, I'll sue you if you this. The people traditionally over the years have said whatever they like about the royals, and nobody's been taken up to the tower and had their heads chopped off or anything. So I think he's pulled himself back so that he's not involved in any of the ceremonial royal duties, and I think he's right to do that, absolutely. But I just hope that the Americans, in Britain, we don't seem to be chasing him. But in America, they're saying, well, I hope you're going to come and testify in court, left, right and centre, and I hope he does. I hope they find a way, a mechanism to make him. But the flip side of that is, if anybody's going to have diplomatic immunity, it's probably going to be a member of the royal family, you would think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's everybody thinks that the royal family are like perfect, but they're not. There always seem to be scandals going on a lot in different times.
Absolutely.
I mean, in different times, you know, with the royals. So they're not a perfect family, are they? After all, you know.
No, do you know, when I was a little lad years ago, and Prince Andrew just got his driving licence, I remember seeing something on telly, and it was a news bulletin, and the news bulletin was for some reason they wanted to talk to Prince Andrew. I think he just started dating Sarah Ferguson. It was that far back, and they were trying to get a chat with him, and he jumped into this car, and he drove up a one-way street the wrong way. You know where it says one way, no entry, and you saw him on the news in his Land Rover drive up a one-way street the wrong way. And I'm thinking, if anybody else had done that, you know, they wouldn't have got to the end before a police car would have stopped them. They're on television, for heaven's sake. They've got him banged to rights. How come they didn't arrest him, fine him? Because they're still, you know, they still have to obey the same law that the rest of us. And from that moment, I've always had kind of something about Andrew especially that, and I know he's fought for the country and what have you, and respect to him for that, but if he has this thing about the law, if he can't even obey the road laws, why should he obey any of the other laws is possibly the question that we should ask him. Anything else then, Brian?
Yeah, two more things I was going to mention. The next one was every single day I'm putting the TV on, I'm hearing about these people coming across from France in little dinghies. And as soon as they come across the English Channel and they get towards our side of the water, they've been like hurled in, you know what I mean, and then taken into where they take them in. And they're allowed to stay in the country, and I don't think that's right, because obviously if they're coming here to stay here, that's obviously encouraging the smugglers to tell other people, oh, well, we've just got a bunch of people on the boat last week and they've got it to Britain. You're trying to go next, and it's a continuous process. And something needs to be done because they're all coming over like every single day in boats. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, but you see, what's happened is we had a deal with the EU for them to stop anybody leaving. And now we're leaving the EU, so why should any of those countries, whether it's Belgium or Holland or France, even Spain, where they've been leaving boats from Spain
well,
to
we
come
should
up?
stop buying French goods as a protest. I think we need to do something because they're just taking a lend of the situation. The French police aren't doing absolutely zilch. They're just letting it carry on. And
Well, you see, but we had a deal with them that we broke, so why should the French do anything? If we're saying to them, we're not going to pay into the EU, and the EU, part of what they've done is trying to protect everybody else's borders as well as their own. So why should they do anything? If we don't want to be part of them, they'll just let immigrants go straight through. Help yourself.
Well, they are, unfortunately. I think the army are sitting in barracks doing nothing. We need to get them out there and they patrol the borders, go out and vote, and send these people back to France. I don't know how we would do it. But
well, I know you said that they're taken in and they're allowed to stay. The vast majority of them aren't. The vast majority of them are taken, put on a train and sent straight back into Europe again. Yes, they're taken off the boat and made sure that they're not going to die. Yes, we'll go that far. But there was a thing on one of the news channels only a couple of days ago that I saw where they're saying so far within the last 48 hours, 178 people have tried to get into Britain, either using lorries or boats and what have you. And here they're all in buses with whatever goods they had on their way heading back into Europe. And but the thing is, then Europe have to accept them. And why should France accept them from Britain?
Well,
we haven't got a deal with them anymore.
Yeah,
you know, so
it's just the noses, Alan, because I mean, you hear about these like Iraqis and Iranians like pretending to be kids and like the daft social cells are taking them in the care, putting them into schools and stuff. And these like men are going out with young girls and that, and I think it's disgraceful. These people are just terrible. I mean, the way they go on and behave.
But what we have to do is what we've been arguing for the longest time, and that's to have an actual process, because we haven't had a process. The process in America or New Zealand or Australia is, do you have a skill that we can use in Britain? And if they say, well, no, I'd just be a labourer, well, you cannot come in then. If you're a doctor and you've got a skill that can, help us, or you're a plumber, or you're an architect, or you're a good welder, whatever. If you have a skill that you can give us that we can use in Britain, how we in? But if you don't have any kind of skill, and there's you and 19 of your friends, or you've got a family of 17, well, you're on your own. Good luck to you, because I just think we should get the process in place, and then at least, because at the present moment, nobody knows. Well, we could go and we'll see what happens. But if they already knew what would happen, I haven't got a skill, I'll be sent straight back. Well, maybe they wouldn't even think about coming. That's
I'm really hopeful that this government we're going now, there's obviously a lot of people who voted for them up here.
But you got to remember, they've been in for 9 years already.
Oh, absolutely, I know. You're right. Probably won't make much difference. Boris is like, he's just lying all the time. He just tells lies to everybody. The final point before I go, Alan, right?
Yeah.
I know you're a big fan of the Beatles, aren't you?
I am.
The Beatles and stuff.
Absolutely.
I've got a great album for Christmas, right? I don't know if you've heard them before. Ever heard of a band called The Analogues? Absolutely fantastic.
Say again, I didn't hear the name.
The Analogues.
The Analogues?
Yeah.
No, I've not heard of them at all.
Oh, right. You should get your hands on their music, and they're absolutely outstanding. They're from the Netherlands, right? And they do all the Beatles stuff, and I've just got their new album out. It's called Abbey Road Relived.
Right.
And I'm telling you, man, it is absolutely amazing. They absolutely are an amazing band. A whole bunch of guys, and they've got together, and they do a load of Beatles stuff, but they're that good. They're actually on Decca Music. That's who actually produced their album. But they're absolutely outstanding. The Analogues. Look them up, Alan. They're absolutely fantastic.
I promise you that I will. Hey, good on you, Bri. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Take care, Alan.
All the best for New Year.
See you.
And take it easy. Bye-bye. Nice fella. Strong views on various things. Prince Andrew, what should happen? Also, of course, with the borders, what is going to happen? No reason for the French or the Dutch or the Belgians to try and stop people leaving for Britain. It's a problem that they don't have to worry about anymore, isn't it? 0191 488 3188. Couple more of those. If every song was written for the hospitals. Smooth Operation by Sade, very good. Anesthetists, blame me. Don't try getting me to say that after Christmas. Anesthetists, Happy Days, D-A-Z-E. Father of Twins, It Ain't What You Do, It's the Way That You Do It. And Hernia Clinic, Careless Rupture. Dear. In the wee small hours of the morning. Message in a Bottle. There you go, absolutely. The asthma ward, You Take My Breath Away. The labour ward, The Harder I Try. Oh dear. Outpatients, I Should Feel So Yucky. And a big thanks to Alan. It says Alan Cosmetic Surgery, Earth, Wind and Fire, Booby Wonderland. Thank you for that. Let's talk to Charlie. He's from Donny. Hello, Charlie.
Hello, Alan. You all right?
I'm good, mate. What you got for me tonight?
Basically, I just want to say it's a huge honour to be speaking to you.
Why,
I'm
bless
honestly so overwhelmed and so anxious to speak to you.
Hey, well, it's good to hear from you. Thank you kindly, man. What are you talking about then?
Well, I just wanted to say over Christmas, like the best and worst food that I've had.
Oh, go on then. What you been having?
I've had the standard Christmas dinner, the Brussels sprouts, the carrots, etc., etc.
Yeah.
The Brussels sprouts are absolutely vile. Absolutely vile.
So why do you have them? Why do you put them on your plate?
Because, it's Christmas. The one time a year thing, isn't it? So,
It's the right? It's the downside of your Christmas dinner, and I understand that. And you pay the price for it afterwards as well.
Oh, definitely, yeah, you do. Not great.
So what was the worst thing? I mean, the sprouts were the worst. What was the best?
Just like everything else.
Right.
Cooked to perfection.
Yeah, great.
Not a single complaint at all.
Yeah, just don't bother with the sprouts next year. That's the thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That might be the best idea.
So originally from Sunderland, then, I hear?
Yeah, I'm originally from Sunderland. I moved to Doncaster in 2010.
Right. Has it worked out for you? How are they looking after you?
Really well, to be honest.
Good.
I love living here. I mean, I've got family that live in Sunderland still.
Yeah.
Well, I still travel up to go see them, but
Sure.
I do love it here.
That's good to hear. Good to know. I like Doncaster. It's a proper. It's full of real people. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that certainly aren't, but Doncaster is one of them where you feel like you're around people that are like yourself. It's a nice thing.
Yeah, very passionate people as well.
For sure.
Very passionate.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to know. Are you settled down with anybody there?
Just with the family.
Right.
So, happy days, really. Can't complain at all.
Nah, that's great. Hey, good to know. What are you doing for New Year then? You got something sorted?
Possibly travelling up to Sunderland to go spend it with the rest of the family.
Right.
Which would be good. All the family together.
Yeah.
Happy days.
That's exactly what it is. Hey, good catching up with you, Charlie. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Good to speak to you, Alan.
Bless
Thank
you,
you
man.
very much.
Take it easy. Bye-bye. That's just nice. No, it's always... He says it's an honour. It's an honour that anybody bothers. You know, truly. Truly. Thank you so much indeed. Britain's most listened to, the Night Owls, on a Sunday on Greatest Hits. Let's spread the word of the owl.
This is the home of Alan Robson's Night Owls.
With the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Now, Mark says, it's absolutely urgent. He says, let the listeners aware there's a scam going on. Although what he's written doesn't seem anything remotely scammy to me. But anyway, he says, I'm worried. My mother has been scammed or hacked. There is a group chat that I created a few days ago to say Merry Christmas to friends and family. Yesterday, my mum got a message with a link that looks a bit like an envelope. She clicked it, and it said Happy New Year, and then from, and then the name of the person who it's from. People have said it's a scam going round. How can you check to find out if you've been scammed or hacked? It's weird. You said you set up a group to say Merry Christmas to friends and family. Somebody sent you a one back, and you think it's a scam, but you set it up. So there may be more to it. I'm sure there will be. And Tim says, I haven't had a Jaffa Cakes since I was a kid. Do the Night Owls think they've shrunk? If I knew they were going to shrink, I would have measured them. Yours, disappointed. No, Tim, I can say and confirm they've lost a good half an inch, haven't they? Possibly an inch, I think, Jaffa Cakes. And now you can buy the even smaller ones that are roughly the size of a 10-pence piece. It's just wrong. Honestly, come the revolution, the people that did that will be the first to go. And also... some more of those song titles, if every single song was to do with a hospital. The Goldstone Cowboy, Glenn Campbell, and Riding Away in My Ambulance. Doc Around the Clock, we've already had that. And this one comes in from Joan, 24 Hours from Ulster. A bit of Gene Pitney, dearest and darling. And Davy the Milkman is lurking in the dark. Hello, Davy.
Hello, Mr. Robson.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Yo, Sith from the dark side of the Force, you. Filthy rat.
How you doing?
Are you? Have you been to see the new Star yet?
I haven't, but obviously you have.
Oh, man. Me and Harvey went to see it. I was like, like the Emperor.
So is it good? Is it? It's worth it, is it?
Oh, fantastic.
That's good. Good news.
Me and Harvey loved this, man. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. By the way, the 40 guys back in our house.
Yeah, what's happened?
Aye, well, I tell you what, right, Ashley went and bought like a bracelet, like from a second-hand shop, right?
Right.
And since you bought that, like, I'm telling, like 4 weeks ago, all kinds has been happening in our house, in the salon, and Harvey's running up into the stairs there, new, like with his mega mobile phone that these kids have got these days. He says I've got what do you call it? Like night vision on my phone.
Right.
I can have a look. But like the orbs, coming up and down the stairs, and then in our bedroom, it's been getting mental. And I've been every room I walk past, I see somebody, and I'm like, this is mad. I've never known.
How much
this,
did you spend on the bracelet?
30 quid.
Right. Might be worth giving it to somebody or selling it back, maybe.
I'm like, whoa.
Because there is...
Like, we've never known out like this, like, Alan.
Yeah.
And
because
little bits and bobs, maybe, you know.
Yeah. No, but
like,
I mean,
like,
attachment to things is fairly common.
Is it?
Yeah. It's quite often items of furniture. You know, that was the chair she sat on for 40 years. Now it's in a second-hand shop. Oh, quite like that. That would work very nice in my living room. It just comes with a ghost of an old woman sitting in it. That's the problem.
Right. Right.
You know, so you got to be a little careful. It may be nothing, you know. It might calm down in a couple of weeks. But you said you've had 4 weeks of it so far.
We're just seeing little bits. We're seeing little bits everywhere, like little things happening, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Any electrical stuff?
Like the lights going off and stuff like that.
Yeah. That sounds like it, doesn't it?
So.
And you know, I mean, it's not the question you ask when you're buying a second-hand thing, saying, and who was the person who owned this first? Is her poltergeist spirit likely to haunt the pants off me and the wife if I buy it? It's not the question you ask,
exactly,
really.
Is it? You didn't write that on you know, when you sell it. You didn't write it. Oh, man.
How's the documentary getting on then? Because you're going to be a superstar this year.
Getting on. I tell you what, Alan, they're not going to come to the Metro because with it being the BBC, they're going to stick the
BBC station, of course. Yeah, that's
BBC. You know what I mean?
Sure, that's all right. No problem.
Aye. So
Nee, Bush.
I think they're gonna go and see. There's a I know how to work it.
No, the good thing is you might end up like Scarlet Thing and become a household name.
Oh no, I didn't want out like that, man. I didn't want out like that.
I can see you on Love.
Tell you what happened on Boxing Day.
Oh, what's that?
I got so drunk on Boxing Day, Alan. Please. You should have seen this. I was covered in bloody reefs and lipstick and all kinds, you know.
And how did Ashley feel about that? Whose lips were you upon?
Where you'll be able to have a look online and see. Now I was up the eyes. I just got. I was drunk. I'd worked out here, you know. I never had any time off.
Right.
You know when you just let your hair down. You
Absolutely.
Just like, oh man.
Let it loose.
I'm just chilling out, and it was great. When we, I've got a couple of more things this year.
Do it.
I went to my Uncle Graham's. My Uncle Graham's got a shop, right?
Ah.
So went upstairs in my Uncle Graham's, and my Uncle Graham normally gives us I normally get like a bottle of Jack Daniels. I actually normally get like a bottle of what's it called? Nice bottle of gin and stuff,
right.
You know.
Yeah.
And when we picked it up, we were mortal. and we got yammer guns. I opened the bag and asked the guns, oh, there's a bottle of Prosecco and a bag of cheese here. So we give us the wrong bag. And so anyway, we found out, but like, we're supped the second one and scoffed the cheese.
I think that was a foregone conclusion, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, at least we got that. And then my mother rang the next day and your games sent the other stuff round. I said, so doubled our price. But I've got a joke for you before you go, Alan.
Come on then, bring it on.
Oh, let's get this joke I and done with.
Come on.
Right, there's a bloke. He goes in this bar, and he buys 3 pints of lager.
Right.
And he goes, he says, "Aye, I'll have 3 pints of lager," and he does that for like every day, you know, for about a couple of weeks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this bloke goes, "Why do you buy 3 pints of lager and sup them?" And he says, "Wait, there was one for me and 2 for me brothers who died." And he goes, right, aye, no bother. And then the next day he goes in and he says, "I'll have 2 pints of lager." And the barman says, "Why are you getting one? 2 pints of lagers?" He goes, he says, "Well, I've stopped drinking, me."
Nice one. Thank you, Davey.
Cheers.
Love to the
Alan.
family. Take care,
man.
man. Bye-bye. Special fella. Davey, the man Benton. And we have Eddie from Long Benton with us as well. I think this is also about Cramlington Hospital. Hi, Eddie.
Hello, mate. Long time no hear.
Hello, welcome back. So, Gather, you've been to Cramlington as well?
It wasn't me, mate. It was my mum.
Right.
Just before I get in that story, Alan, Tesco's were doing, on the run-up to Christmas, any food that was going out to date, they donated it to the food bank.
Ah, that's good. No, that's
so
great.
at least that was one good thing. And happy belated Christmas and New Year to you and your staff.
Right, thank you.
Right, so what happened was my mum had pneumonia about the 5th time. Now, 4 times before she went to Rake Lane.
Right.
And, on the 4th time, I said to them, "Look, don't let her out because every time you send her out, within 2 days, I'm bringing her back with pneumonia." And the doctors were brilliant in Rake Lane.
Right.
And they said, right, okay. So they did it. You know, we sat and talked, and they kept her in, and they made sure that pneumonia had gone anyway. She got it the 5th time. And the dashed her, I didn't know, they dashed her off to Cramlington.
Right.
Now, it was 2015, so it had just opened a few weeks before she went up there.
Right.
And put her in the hospital, and I had to go back and get my disabled nephew off to school, and then I went back with like a bag of clothes for my mum, that, and I went into this like semicircle area that was just curtains. There was no cubicles, and it was just all curtains. Everybody was curtained off, you know. And I thought, well, that's a bit strange. So anyway, when she was over there, and I went over, and here I says, "Why is she on life support and tubes coming out her neck and stapled in and everything?" I went, "We've induced down to a coma."
Yeah.
I says, "Why are you induced down to a coma? She's got pneumonia, you know." And it says, she's having breathing problems with her asthma. So we thought it was the best thing for her. So anyway, they kept trying every day to bring her out of the coma, and she wouldn't come out of it. They couldn't get her to come out of the coma. And that went on, and eventually they said, "Look, she's got sepsis." And I says, "Right, okay, sepsis isn't the hospital's fault, that's something with the body." So they said, "Look, we're going to have to make a decision to turn the machine off." And I says, "Okay." I didn't want them to, but 2 doctors overruled us, so obviously took the pipes out. And later on, I got all the documents when she died, and here she'd picked up E. coli in the hospital. And I went off it because I said, "You're a new hospital, you haven't been open 2 weeks." And my mum, yeah, well, I understand she was going to die anyway, but on top of that, she got E. coli. I says, "How the hell did she get E. coli from a hospital that's supposed to be immaculate? And why wasn't she put in a separate area where she was away from everybody when you knew what state she was in? You know, it was just curtains and everybody could see. And
yeah.
You know, and eventually, just when she was about to die, they stuck her in a room just off from where all the curtain area was, and just left us on my own with her. And I never saw a doctor. I didn't see a doctor. And then when she died, I shouted out to the nurses, and they went, all right, hang on, we'll get a doctor. And then he come and done all the tests, and it was dead and that, you know.
Too late, though, the cry. Too late for her.
Yeah, and it took me 10 days to get the body released because of E. coli. I didn't know that E. coli can still be airborne or something.
Yeah, right.
So I just argued with the doctors and wanted to know. I never got an answer.
No.
As to why she got E. coli. I says, you know, you're supposed to be a brand new hospital, immaculate. I said, and she's picked up E. coli in here. I says, and that's one thing I'll never forgive you for.
No.
You know?
No,
yeah. So.
But I mean, when you said that, you know, she was prone to pick up pneumonia, and you said for the 5th time.
5 times, Alan, yeah. She got it the 5 times. And the 5th time, I mean, I've had it once, and I would never wish it upon anybody.
No, not at all.
I had that norovirus and pneumonia in one at the same time. And I was unconscious on the floor in my sitting room for 2 days for anybody found me. But luckily I was dashed to the RVI. And the lady that was on before that, you was on about the rivers and everything.
Yes.
The thing now is you have an option to choose which hospital you want to go to.
Right.
So it's probably worth telling her that she doesn't have to go to Cramlinton. She can go to the nearest hospital. If she goes to Rake Lane, she can choose Rake Lane, or she can go to the RVI, or she can go to Freeman. It's her choice now. That's the new rule now. You choose which hospital you want to go to.
Just she's had such a bad time. I don't even think she wants to even think about going back to Crammy.
No, I don't blame her. I don't blame her for not wanting to go back to Cram. I would never want to go there. I mean, I live in Long Benton, and it's got on my slits that my choices are Freeman. RVI, or Rake Lane.
Yeah.
That's it. I will never go to Cramlinton.
Okay, hey, Eddie, good hearing from you, mate. Thank you very much for coming on.
Have a great New Year.
Do my best. Thank you.
Take care.
And you, mate. Bye-bye. Ah, no, nice guy. Time for our second clue as well. Now, remember, you're fighting. Everybody that calls in is in the hat for one of the Night Owl mugs. That's cool. But to battle for the Encyclopedia of Space and the Universe on PC, CD-ROM, lot of stuff on here. I mean, a ton of stuff. 28 massive video sequences, 60 colour animations, 2 hours of audio, 400 full-colour photographs and illustrations. This is monster. If you like space, if you like the whole UFO alien thing, Encyclopedia of Space and Universe for you on PC, CD-ROM. If you want it, that is your prize tonight. Now remember, each clue is actually 2 clues, 2 words that shouldn't fit together, but strangely do in this particular song. Clue number 1, small tasty orange-like fruit beginning with T. Add to that what birch, oak, maple, ash and chestnut are. Okay, birch, oak, maple, chestnut, any of them. What are they? Put the 2 words together. Second clue, a pastry that Desperate Dan used to eat involving cow. What was the pastry filled with cow that Desperate Dan used to eat? That is the second word. And the first word is the stuff that flumps are made of. Okay? The stuff that flumps are made of. Okay? So that's the word first. The second one is the pastry filled with cow that Desperate Dan eats. So 2 clues down, officially. 2 more clues to come. Don't try for the answer until you hear the 4th clue. And Easter's been on. Oi, oi, Savaloy. Just tell Davy the truth that it's you he sees walking through the house after you were visiting your bairn over the Christmas. And Davy not wanting to be famous? My ass. He was born for it, says Easter. No, I think so too. Let's go and talk to Anonymous, who is in Gateshead. Hello, Anonymous.
Hello, it's just about depression and stuff like that.
Oh, blame me. You've been suffering.
Well, my partner's got it as well.
Right.
And she keeps saying, thinking, yeah, voices and stuff like that.
She suffers from schizophrenia?
I'm not sure what it is she's got. She's got like tablets and that for it, but she keeps hearing there's somebody called Peter in her head all the time.
Right.
And I phoned the police the other day, and the police come, and I didn't know if she's telling us the truth or whether she's lying, because sometimes she's laughing about it and laughing and things like that. You know, that time she's telling us things, and I'm concerned about her. You know, I was thinking about getting married, but I didn't know whether or not because of what's happening.
Well,
because it's got me concerned. I just didn't know what it.
Well, there's a rule, Anonymous, that I would suggest you live by. The rule is, if in doubt, do nout. Okay, so certainly don't get married until you're certain of the woman.
It's just that confusing. I mean, she's saying she can hear things, and then when the police come, I had to get the police because I was just concerned about her. And then because she's getting sick of it, it's not working. It's not working what they're trying to do. They're trying to push her over the edge, but it's not working. But I think it's a neighbour next door to me. But when I'm coming over here, she can hear the voices, because I'm in her flat at the minute. She can hear the voices over here. They keep telling her to leave Newcastle and then eat pizzas and stuff like that, and things like that, eat Savoy sandwiches and stuff like that. And she says it's not working what they're doing, but they're trying to push her over the edge, but it's not working. But I'm just like I see, I've got the police now. We're going to get like surveillance stuff to see if we've got the house bugged, because she keeps thinking that they're watching in the house and stuff like that, and things like that in our flat and stuff like that. I'm concerned about her, but I'm also wondering whether she's telling the truth, because she went out with a dog at the end. She was laughing and carrying on. I'm thinking, well, is she trying to push me over the edge, or is she genuine? You know what I mean? I just didn't know what to believe.
Well, the thing is that
she's not telling us the truth fully what's going on.
When the police came, how did she react when the police came?
Well, when the police come, she didn't want us to ring them, but when they come, they just said, I was looking at one of them, I said, well, I was going to get the surveillance, and he just shook his head. He went, no, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of money. So I didn't have to think she's just conning it, or whether she's, I don't know.
Well, they didn't offer any help though, so they're
didn't,
they're obviously not concerned that she's an issue, you know. So that would tell you something, and she didn't want you to ring them, which tells you something else, really, doesn't it? Because if she was desperate, she'd take help off anybody that offered it.
Yeah, I think that's smoking dope and arm next door to me, and she mentioned that because she can speak to them and she can hear what they're saying to her. And he had called her a fat C and that and stuff like that and things like that. So I was getting concerned about it. I thought I had to do something about it, because it's been going on for ages now. It's been going on for years now.
How long have you been with her then?
23 years.
Blimey. But you're still not sure you can trust her?
Well, it didn't happen to her then. It's only happened to her in the past, like, I would say the past 7 or 8 years. Because we're living together, and then she moved out. She's got a flat over here over Newcastle.
Right.
They keep telling her to leave Newcastle. She says, I'm not leaving Newcastle. Because at first of all, they were making her have dreams. They were trying to twist her dreams in her head. I didn't know how they've been doing it. That's why I wanted surveillance equipment to see if the house has been bugged or anything.
Well, I think the chances of it, you know, first of all, my question is, why would anybody do it, and what would they get from it?
Well, that's what they said. That's what the psychiatrist said to her. But they're saying they were trying to give her sick dreams. So we had spirit at the time. So she was having a dream about being on a beach eating pizzas, because they were trying to give her a sick dream. She didn't want to have a sick dream. So
who was trying to give her sick dreams, though? Who was it?
Somebody called Peter. I didn't know who it is.
Oh, the voice in her head.
The neighbour next door to me calls Peter, but somebody, it could be waste and strays that's coming in and out of the house next door. That's doing it, because there's people coming in there all the time.
No, it's just that if you think about it, if you like pizza and you know you shouldn't eat it because it's not good for you, or it's piling the weight on or whatever, it's very convenient to have a voice in your head telling you to do it. And I've got to have it because Peter says I've got to have a pizza. I just think you've got to be careful. You're separated because she chooses to want to live away from you. That's the bottom line. So you getting married to her, I think, certainly at this stage, is something you just want to put on hold for.
We've got a son together.
Right.
We've got a son together, and I'll be on my own. Without her, I'll be on my own. I'll be honest with you. I've got any family, I'll be on my own.
Right.
But I dare say I could find somebody else. But it's whether you can trust anybody, because I've been through relationship problems before, and it's trusting somebody.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But you see, you've got this lady that you've known all of that time. You've had a baby with her, and you still cannot trust her. You see, now that tells me a lot, you know, because if you can trust somebody, and after that length of time, blame me, you should.
My mum died on Mum died on Christmas Day 2001. I was upset about the idea. I was lying in bed crying. I was telling her she wasn't really that bothered, you know. She didn't.
But you see, that tells you that she doesn't get. It's all about her.
Ideas. She talks about herself a lot, and everything's an outside interest. It's not me. She doesn't talk about togetherness. It's always an outside interest.
Yeah, but you see that tells you, you know, that if you got back together with it, it would have to be all about her. And hey, that's all well and good. And there's some people that can do that, but
I've had that in the past.
the whole idea is it should be about you both. It's not like
that's
a.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
Just give it some thought, and on. You got a ways to go. But hey, good luck to you. I hope you have a better year. Thank you for coming on, and on all the best. Bye. What a shame. A lot going on there, I think you'll find. 0191 488 3188. And, you know, on Night Owls, we try and share with you as many stars as we can. Now, Daryl Hall and John Oates, superstar band. I talked to them about their stalker.
What is the mad fan or stalker stories of Daryl Hall and John Oates?
Oh boy! No, I had a stalker who thought that he was my blood brother.
Oh,
this goes back a long time, so I can actually talk about it.
Right, good.
And he had some fantasy that he was my blood brother, that we had exchanged blood back in 1953 or something like that.
Was he the guy that threw the licenses on the stage?
Don't tell us. So we were in San Diego playing, and I see out in the audience, I see this very weird guy sitting there in the front row, and he has these oak, you know what oak tag cards are?
Yeah.
Sort of like cue cards. And every once in a while he would hold up 1953, blood brother, you know, San Diego, and I'm going, this guy is okay. This is the guy, right? At the end, and he sat there with a stone face doing this through the whole show. And at the end of the show, everybody rushed the stage. You know? And I see his, you know, we were just chin high, right? So I see him, and at the last song, he tossed all this. It was like confetti, but it was 300 copies of his driver's license in my face.
Whoa! Did you end up meeting him?
The FBI met him and told him to go away.
Right? Can you match that story then?
Well, I had a girl who would write me letters for years, and she started out saying she was my sister, and then she starts out saying she was my wife, and then I got a letter from her doctor who said she was in an insane asylum in Northern California, and that I should thank you for reading the letters, but don't pay attention to them.
Whoa!
So they do come out of the woodwork.
Absolutely. Now I'm presuming you're also sex symbols, though, so you'll have the girlies flocking after you wherever you go.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, they flock. They do flock. Yes.
How do you fight them off or invite them in?
My wife fights them off.
Superstars, Daryl Hall and John Oates. And I was just thinking back, because I don't know about you, but when I hear a tune on Greatest Hits, I sometimes think, oh, blimey, I'm going to have to listen to their Greatest Hits, see what else they've done. And when you start with Daryl Hall and John Oates, she's a rich girl. Do you remember Rich Girl way back? And that other beautiful little ballad that they had before that. Gorgeous stuff. Anyway, you get a fragrant little insert into their world, and if it makes you want more, that's a good thing indeed. But it is time right now for a little bit of blah, I fancy. What the devil is the blah? Well, it's when we see what's trending, get the team to take part and pick up on a story or two. We have Chris Felton with us.
Hi, yeah.
Hi, Chris. And we also have producer to the stars, Hollywood, Tony McShane.
Hello.
Right, so good Christmases, gents.
Yes. Nice and chilled, nice and quiet.
Trees down, it's over.
I'm fascinated by that, you know.
His trees down already.
I took it down today. I mean, it's over, so I mean,
it's 29th.
I'm not going to prolong it.
Well,
did I tell you that I didn't put one up?
Did you not?
I didn't even put one up.
You're kidding?
No, it's
It's
been a bitch of a year, so you didn't
I haven't felt Christmassy, that's why I took it down.
That's when I was surprised having them down.
I haven't felt like celebrating.
No, but I put it up to try and feel Christmassy. It just wasn't happening. I was looking at it today and I was like, that's coming down.
When did you put them up? Christmas Eve?
It was about a week before. So.
A week? They've only been up a week? That's why.
I know some people that keep them up all the time, and then when it gets to like the 20th, I think it's the 29th it's supposed to come down, he just opens the attic hatch and pulls the tree through and sits it up there until next year. Then dusty, it comes down again. But let's have a look. We always start with the front pages of the newspapers that's going to be rammed through your letterbox first thing tomorrow morning, or they'll be waiting for you at the local newsagents. Starting off with The Sun, and remember, chaps, you can dive in if you fancy. The Sun's headline, Flack flees Flack because she looks like, remember the assault on her boyfriend, and she's been dumped from Love Island, or she's chosen to step down. I think that was an interesting... You're always asked to step down, I think. You don't normally say, oh, you mean I can't do it? I think it was possibly one of them. And also, the other thing that I don't understand, it was a story that came out today. I didn't feature it in my medley. The boss of the Lake District says the Lake District's too white. The hills are not inclusive to ethnic minorities and transgender people. Now, it's just countryside. How can you say it's too white? It's just the countryside.
Well, the people who live there.
Well, no, people visiting.
People who visit
it's too
as well.
white.
The people who visit.
It's a hidden secret. It's a hidden gem.
But yeah,
maybe people just don't.
Well, I don't get
go.
that.
Yeah,
I just don't get it because I've been there and I've seen people of every persuasion from all over the world. And the headline in The Sun is The Flake District, because everybody kind of believed that he said it. The Daily Star. Let's get started with Slimming World. There's Slimming World menus and Big Fat Gypsy stars in double suicide. TV Paddy, pray for my angel twins. He says. Anything to mention? I
haven't seen the Gypsy.
I've never watched any
no.
of that. I've never wanted to, and I don't understand how television creates these reality people, and it just seems random to me. It doesn't seem to be any.
I mean, it's a time of year when a lot of people are feeling a bit down as well. It's quite sad.
No,
both of them as well. Doing
it's. I mean, on Night Owls over the years, we've had a lot of people wanting to do stupid things at this time of year. We've always called it, we tend not to mention it on air because it perpetuates it, but it's suicide season. It's a season when so many people are, I'm partying, I got the best thing for Christmas, I love my boyfriend. And if you're on your tot, it's a swine of a time for people, it is. Anyway, let's move on. The Times, the US launches its biggest attack in a decade on Iran-backed militias, and race row as a £1 million gift is snubbed by elite schools. And there's a picture of Charles and Anne, Princess Anne, Prince Charles, in big warm coats. So I don't know what that's about, nor do I care. Daily Mirror, brilliant football pullout and high street emergency, be a local hero. 44 shops a day close. Wow. And 140,000 jobs are axed as the retail crisis deepens. Calls for families to buy in town as the government cash pledge is far too little. And also we're told now that expect mass unemployment because of Brexit. So this is why when it comes to people voting, my head's just, I cannot get it. It's like,
very divided.
Shall we be all right in the number one economy in the world, or shall we not and be all unemployed and lose money and not have any high street shop? And it's like, oh, let's do that, and you think, whoa, really? And this is not really. It's not all Europe's so good because, as I say, I didn't vote to stay in it or anything, but I wanted to go with the people. I trust the people, but. Having a job with this, I have to say. The Guardian, sick children sent far from home in a National Health Service beds crisis. Like that grandmother. She died being driven around 600 miles in an ambulance and they couldn't find a bed for her anywhere in Britain.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And the Daily Mail revealed Britain's hardest working royal. Clue, it's not Prince Andrew. And the headline says, £10 billion rogue pensions scandal. Thousands lose their nest eggs in schemes sanctioned by HMRC. Scammers faced minimal checks, yet now the taxman threatens victims with fines. So they've been saving, somebody's robbed them of their savings, but they're going to have to pay tax on the money that they've been scammed.
Shocking.
I'm sorry, but that is, to me, that is modern Britain in a nutshell. We will not help you, we'll persecute you, and if you've got money, we want it. There's also a picture of a Doris in a swimsuit saying, a soft porn version of The Crown, which would be a bit odd, because it's the Queen and everything, isn't it?
Who's the hardest working royal? You didn't finish that one off. I'm curious.
You've got to buy the paper, that's why it's on the front.
Oh, I'm not reading that crap.
That's well, there you go. The information newspaper, Honours List data leak will cost tens of millions. Now, I don't understand this. Apparently, Elton John's got an award. One of the Tories, Ian Duncan Smith, I think, and everybody says, oh, we don't want him to have one. There's a cricketer and a few others. Why does it cost tens of millions that it's been leaked before New Year's Day? Then
I think a lot of their addresses were leaked as well.
Oh, is that what it is?
So they might have lawsuits against them. I mean,
because if anybody goes to their house at all, they can sue.
And that's probably.
And
I think people are probably outside some of the houses now.
Now, I'd pay somebody to go to my house so that I could sue. Do you know what I mean? Even if it was your in-laws, you'd say, right, photo.
Daily Telegraph, climate change will hit pensions, says Carney. And the Financial Times, sharp drop in the IPOs stirs fears for shrinking public markets. Got it, lads? Yeah, they've got their finger on the pulse. That is what we call the blah regarding front pages of the national newspapers. Over to you, Chris. What's your story?
Bit of a funny time of year for people not necessarily being back at work. Some people back at the minute, some people not. Definitely a time for skiving, if it's anything like this place on the build-up to this time of year anyway.
Yeah.
So your best skive, because the mayor of Picucalco in Mexico has decided that in 2020 he's going to be scaling back his public appearances.
Right.
So what he's actually got is a life-size cardboard cutout of himself that he sends around the States with the thumbs up. I wonder if he's got one with a thumbs down. I don't know. And he sends that out when he cannot be bothered, or when he's got other commitments. He sends out the cardboard cutout instead, which I think is genius.
Good idea.
Well, I suppose, because it gets them about... Do you know, you're talking about cardboard cutouts, have you ever been in a shop that's got a cardboard cutout of a policeman?
Yes.
You jump a mile, don't... Well, not that I'm doing anything wrong, but
it's
you jump
effective.
A mile.
Put the biscuits back.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But they cut down crime in that shop by about 30 to 40%. And it's a cardboard cutout. Because it makes you feel...
Yeah.
They're watching.
Absolutely.
So,
I've had that.
They are scary. They do make you jump. I don't know what it is. But
Even if you've paid for
there's
everything.
a Danny DeVito down in the office, cardboard cut out, and I did think there was someone standing in front of the window
a
earlier.
Buddy the Elf in the lift the other day as well.
Yeah, that caught me as well.
Oh yeah, I've had a few frights.
Last week, when you just opened the doors of the lift, they've stood it right up against it, and there's a big Buddy the Elf from that particular film. Over to you then, Tony, what you got?
Yeah, have you ever heard when you don't believe someone's going to do something, and you go, oh yeah, if she does that, I'll it used to be I'll show my A in Fenix Windows back in the day.
Traditional.
That's the theme next year.
A YouTuber's had his testicle removed for Trump. Basically, a right-wing YouTuber said that, if he gets impeached, that he'd remove his left testicle. So, he's actually had it removed, he's left one, and he's donated it to medical research. But that is dedication, isn't it? He's a man of his word, he said. So
he's a lunatic.
But he's a YouTuber, so he's got to live up. I mean, he's got thousands of followers, so he doesn't want to lose face. So if you say something,
I'd
you're going
rather
to have
lose
to do
face
it.
than lose
a testicle.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
And he posted, obviously, a video of him. And
cutting it off?
Well, not the actual thing, but him in the bed with the caption, man of me word.
He didn't do it himself, though, obviously.
No, he went to a hospital. But can you just go to a hospital and so, can you take me testicle out, please?
Ball off, please.
But I mean, you couldn't just turn up and ask them to do it, could you? Maybe the vets.
I wouldn't.
No, well, a vet shouldn't do it either, I'm guessing. But no, surely you can't. Why would a doctor take off a perfectly healthy thing?
Probably
testicle.
Private medicine will probably do whatever you like.
I know, how weird. I mean, if you're a doctor, I'd love to hear if you would take someone's testicle off if it was...
Well, it's
if he
the
asked.
phrase now is monorchid, if you only have one testicle. Let me share a name or two with you, because there are two famous. You know, during World War II, everybody used to slag off Adolf Hitler, saying Hitler has only got one. Well, apparently, according to the Russians, who claim to have found his badly burned body, he only did have one. However, strange, and you remember...
It's one way to identify him as well.
Hitler, well...
Has he got one ball?
It's not exactly a passport photo.
Yeah, I was going to say, stand over here. Take your belt off. Adolf, it's you. But the other one, and he was a corporal in World War One, Hitler. Napoleon, the little corporal, also was monorchid. He only had one as well.
Monorchid? Yeah. Orchid's like a field, isn't it?
No, it's a flower.
Is it?
It's not a field, it's a flower. It's like a seeded flower, a monorchid. So
obviously just one seed in it, if that's why it's got the given the name.
I would imagine he probably the other one probably worked harder to compensate. I'm guessing. But there you go. What the hell?
This is Night Owls on Greatest Hits Radio.
You never know who's going to call next.
0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Get your calls in. Give me a ring. 0191 488 3188. Now, traditionally, you will know that I'll be doing the New Year's party, and then we'd have a super quiz. Well, this year we're bringing you the good times on Greatest Hits Radio, taking you into a brand new decade with the only soundtrack you need this New Year's Eve. Get us on for the biggest party songs of the 70s, 80s and 90s. Pat Sharp will be round at your place with his New Year's Eve party from 7 p.m. Then from 10 p.m, Proctor's House Party will take you through to 2020 with the Big Ben chimes at midnight too. New Year's Eve from 7 on Greatest Hits Radio. Now, we're very close to a third clue. We've got a chat with supergroup Cool and the Gang. How cool is that? And we got Andrew from North Shields as promised. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Alan. How do you do?
I'm very well. What you got for us tonight then, Andrew?
Oh, I was going to tell you about my Christmas because I spoke to you last week.
Uh-huh. How did it go then?
It went fine. I got a place to give my neighbour a break.
Right.
I went to a guest house. I went to an eating place with my wife and asked her for help in finding a guest house.
Right.
And I was getting a bit distraught, a bit upset. But she found me a place, and I was very happy when I got there.
Good news.
I stayed 2 nights in a guest house, and then 2 nights at my sister's over Christmas.
Right. Oh, well, that's nice.
And my sister had a recording of the moon landing for me to watch on Christmas Day.
Brilliant.
And I'd never seen it before. I was 6 years old at the time of the moon landing.
Right.
And I was sent to bed when it was on.
Right.
Which I believe was in the evening, although history keeps telling us that it's in the afternoon now.
Right.
But I thought I remembered it in the evening. And I was sent to bed. And when he was giving his famous address, One Small Step for Man, I didn't catch the next part. And I said, I was lying in bed trying to hear, and I was sub-vocalizing to myself. I didn't hear that bit. And then I thought, hey, you'd better not say that. Hey, you'd better not repeat it, because I felt I was very famous at the time.
Right.
And he did. The man said, I'm sorry, we didn't catch that last bit. One giant leap for mankind.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling that he was just reading my mind and repeating what I was saying.
Yeah.
Because I got to the moon before Armstrong.
Right, no, I remember you telling me that you had. How did that happen then?
Well, I was taken on a drive somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I was placed on stairs
Mm-hmm.
by some door, metal door, and I was informed that that Sandy Tostig was nearby. She was taking an interest.
Right.
Now I had made the claim that I'd love to speak to Sandy Tostig because she was such a wonderful talker, as I'd seen on my TV set, very young. And my greatest ambition was to have a chat about history or something with Sandy Tostig.
Right.
So I was put on these stairs, and I was told Sandy Tostig was there. And I said, "Oh well, I'll just go over and speak to her." And I said, "No, you don't. You open the door, go in." So I did, and it blasted off. So it was.
So they conned you using Sandy Toksvig to get you to the moon. So how long did it take you to get to the moon then?
A very short time. I stood, and I blasted off to the moon. Also, my French pen pal was there, and she saw it.
Right.
She gave me the psychic image of it many years later as the rocket taken off.
Right. Well, that's why you'd be interested in seeing the original moon landing, because they were essentially just copying you then.
I got the moon age 4 on my own. Right. The astronauts.
But did you want to?
I think I lied about it and said age 5.
How did you know though that you wanted to talk to Sandy Toksvig when you were 4 or 5? I didn't know who she was when I was that age.
I saw her on our TV set. I saw a number of people on our TV set. I saw, what's her name? I saw a number of people on our TV set. I think I named one of them.
Right. So did you actually go out under the moon then? I mean, were you in a spacesuit or what?
Yes, I did. There was a breathable atmosphere. I heard voices tell me to step. A voice told me to step out.
So it was breathable though. You didn't need a spacesuit there. They were lying about that.
I was in plimsolls.
Plimsolls, all right.
Didn't care to jump up into the air, but it was breathable atmosphere. There's no slamming doors on them.
Be a bit dusty on your pumps though, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I didn't. I was, so that I didn't touch the ground. I didn't want to touch the ground with my hands.
Sure.
And certainly not pee on the moon, as the popular belief was at the time.
So how did you hold your water then? I mean, you wait till you get back on the spaceship.
I did indeed, yeah.
All right, good on you. Don't want to mess up the moon.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I don't think I saw the Earth. Don't think I noticed the Earth the first time, but I got there a second time with school friends.
Right.
And this time I saw the Earth.
Right.
I just wondered where this beautiful low lighting came from.
Right.
Which was a reflection from the Earth. And on the second time when I was with school friends, we saw the Earth revolving, and we saw bright light coming from one part of it. And I had heard of Chernobyl, and I thought that's what it was.
Oh, right.
And I was told, no, that's America over there. That's the Hubble. Is it the Hubble space?
Hubble Space
the
Telescope.
Mirror.
Yeah.
The mirror.
Yeah.
Reflecting the sun to us as a beam.
Right.
But that was.
But how did you get back to the moon? Because it's an expensive business. How did you get back with the school then? Were your school pals?
I was in primary school at the time.
Right.
Oh, incidentally, my primary school teacher got on the radio, and she was married to Danny DeVito. You mentioned Danny DeVito.
Oh, Danny DeVito.
Earlier.
Right, okay.
He was married to Danny DeVito.
Right. Yes,
Who was a wonderful kids
yes.
actor.
No, it's amazing, the wonders of your mind. Andrew, bless you. Thanks for coming on. I'm glad you had a decent Christmas. Stay well. Thank you for calling, man.
Thank you. Bye.
All the best. Bye-bye. Yeah, there you go. There's a million things. Whenever I talk to Andrew, especially Andrew, it reminds me, you're talking greatest hits, his mind. And do you remember that song from Noel Harrison, Rex Harrison's son? Sting also had a minor dalliance with it when he remade the film The Thomas Crown Affair. Round like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning, like an ever-spinning wheel. Like a clock whose hands are ticking, and all of that. That's Andrew's mind. There's a lot going on. We wish him well. Going to take a quick break, and then we've got Anne from West Denton. And Anne is the act that is, I suppose, on stage before Kool and the Gang. We'll talk to them soon too.
Night Owls with Alan Robson.
You never know who's going to call next.
Greatest hits radio.
Time for the third clue for you to win tonight's top prize. Everything to do with space and the universe and all of that. Might even have a mention of Andrew up there. So it's on the Eyewitness PC CD-ROM. It's a nice bit of kit. If you would like it, here's your first three clues. Now remember, do not ring in until you hear the fourth clue. Clue number one. Small, tasty, orange-like fruit beginning with T. You add to that birch, oak, maple. What are the three types of? Okay, gotcha. The second clue. The stuff that flumps are made of. Okay, write that down. And then add to it a pastry filled with stuff. Like it was cow that Desperate Dan used to have, but Desperate Dan used to eat a cow what? Write that down. Two clues down. The third clue is this. Paddington's favourite jam or preserve that he kept under his hat. Write down what that was. Paddington's favourite jam or preserve that he kept under his hat. And then you add to that the area above us where planes fly. The area above us where planes fly. I know it's a dance, but we'll get there together and you'll get your last clue in about 15 minutes, I think, from now. Now, here's somebody out of the blue I haven't heard from in the longest time. How many night owls can go back long enough to remember Debbie with no voice from Winlayton? A lovely lady that I was fortunate enough to meet on a few occasions. And she's back. Hello, Debbie with no voice.
Hello, Alan.
You've still got a bit of voice, lass.
I have, yes.
How great is that? Lovely to hear from you. It's been a long time.
I just found your radio station. I'm so sorry.
That's
I'm not the brightest spark in the bunch, you know.
That's all right. You get there eventually. That's the main
do.
thing. Tremendous.
I've got a new little dog.
Oh, what type of dog is it?
It's a Shih Tzu.
It's a
I'm not swearing.
It's a Shih Tzu. Right.
She's 6 months old. It's our first Christmas. So I didn't bother put my tree up, but I got a picture of my tree from last year. So I stuck it on the wall.
Yeah, it's better than have the soil all over the floor or the balls chowed and everything. I understand. I get it. Oh, that's funny. So how have you been? Are you all right?
My husband's been up and down with ill health.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear it.
But it's been a weird year for all, Alan. Because I don't know about you, but I think it's been up and down like a heartbeat. That's the only way I can think of it.
Yeah. I don't know anybody that's had a really great. Normally you can think, oh, they did well, or he's doing good, or she's doing well. Everybody this past year has ended up either losing a job or, not getting where they wanted to be. A friend of mine's had his wages frozen for the last 18 months because his factory's worried about Brexit, and they're still none the wiser because nobody's saying anything about it.
This Brexit thing is just rubbish.
Yeah, it's not been
totally rubbish.
Yeah. So your husband, is he well now? Is he back to?
He's still not too good, Alan.
What's been happening with him? Because he was your pusher and shoverer.
He's got 7 stents in his heart, and one of the two of the stents are sometimes rubbing against each other.
Right.
So his heart just drops a bit. So we've got to sort him back into hospital and.
So what's brought that on though?
It's happened since he's had the stent put in.
Right. Carry on.
When people have a degree look, the heart attack look, that's what I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just know when he's not well. But sometimes he doesn't wake us up. So when I wake up, it's about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm thinking, I thought it was 9.
Mind you, that could be a nice thing too, just
it's medication. But Daisy, she's been brilliant. So she's company for us when I'm stressed or when I'm.
Oh, there's nothing brings your heart rate down faster than a pet. A cat or a dog will do it for you every time.
I've got one of them. What do you call it? Stinky hooses.
Well,
I'm only joking. You used to say, wasn't it?
I tell you, I still believe it absolutely, and I'm not going to mention it because it's been a long time since. Give you a chance to get over it before I start calling your carpets.
But when the dog gets spayed, I said to the vet, I says, I need her shoveled. I've got me words mixed up.
Yeah, because I remember when I took my cats in, I took both of my. I had 2 cats. I took them both in together. One was a boy cat and one was a lady cat. And when the thing that I remember vividly was when I saw the 2 cats again to pick them up from the vets, the look on their faces of disappointment in me. It was, how dare you? How dare you do this to me?
He was brilliant with us.
Really?
She had problems with a couple of her teeth. So they sorted them out when she was under anaesthetic. So we're very lucky. And our scar is fantastic.
Right.
Only for about three weeks ago, it's just done really well.
It's a big up for the lady, more so than the male dog as well. That's the thing.
They were saying later on in life, the ladies have lots of problems down below.
Right.
Even though they had puppies and that.
Yeah.
So it's best what I've done. But she's a coffee and cream.
Right, lovely.
And a bit chocolate every so often. Because I keep thinking, she's got muck on her. It's not. It's the dog's chocolate on the legs.
But it sounds like you're doing well. As for worry about your lad, Easter's just been on and said, Alan, believe it or not, I was just thinking about Debbie a few days ago. Spooky. Send her love. Easter. And tell her, don't worry about her bloke. Stents are a big help. So there you go, speaking from experience.
Tell him that's really lovely.
Well, absolutely. Well, he'd be hearing
I forget,
this.
he's probably listening. Hello,
there you go, he is,
Easter.
absolutely. No question. Hey, but great to have you back, Debs.
Right, no problem, at least I found you.
And Debbie with no voice has a voice. It's tremendous.
I know, I'm talking quietly, but
that's all right.
It's better.
All counts.
Because if I start trying to raise it, it just doesn't
then
work.
It'll conk out. I've got you. Hey, have a lovely New Year and stay in touch, Debs, as well.
I will do. Love you.
Love you too, darling.
Love all of you.
Take care. That's super sweet. Thanks for coming on. Oh, my goodness. We haven't heard from Debbie in the longest time. Also, Harvey sent this in before we were hoping to get him on air. He says, Dear Alan, my cat Claude was shot with an air gun. He was seriously ill and in terrible pain. He needed to be put under an anaesthetic and an X-ray was taken. The airgun pellet had lodged in his pancreas and needed surgical removal. Claude was an outgoing, confident cat, but lost all of his confidence following this and was never the same. People who do this sort of thing have no regard or respect for life. Those who do this sort of thing usually go on to inflict serious harm to people. I hope that these idiots who did this to the cat, who was shot 20 times and who's lost an eye, get caught and get jail. Yours, Harvey. Well, this is the problem. They tend not to get jail. You know what they'll do is, they'll go to court, say, oh, we're terribly sorry, oh, we're really sorry. The pistol will get confiscated. They'll be given a piece of paper that says you're not allowed to have a pet for the next 5 years. It wasn't their pet anyway. And they walk. And they should, for that kind of thing. Everybody says that people who commit serious crime, they tend to start on small animals. That's how it begins.